Hi folks, in this video I'm going to talk to you about making the most of the mic built into your computer, specifically in GarageBand, specifically using some effects like compression and EQ. The main thing you need to know about the mic in your computer is it is not a very good one, so we will do our best to work around it. So I'm going to start up GarageBand. There's my daughter, isn't she cute? And I'm going to make a new project. I'm going to make an audio file. And okay, so it's now listening on the computer mic. I'm going to turn off the count in and the metronome. And I'm just going to record a little bit. So right now I'm recording on the computer mic. And one big limitation of the computer mic is there is no gain control. There's no way to control like how loud the signal is that's going to it. So this is recording too quiet right now. If I want it to be louder, the only thing I can do is either speak up or just bring my face closer to the computer mic. Like the closer, the better. Here we go. I'm recording at a good level. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. Okay, good enough. So there is my beautiful recording. Let's listen to this one. This is the computer mic. Excuse me while I plug my headphones in. Much better. Mic. All right, so I don't need any of this stuff beforehand, so I'm gonna just trim all of that. I'm gonna trim this stuff off the end. Let's move this over to the beginning of my session. There it is. And I'm gonna activate the loop. This is the computer mic. Okay. At a good level. This is the computer mic. That's really good. Let's tidy up this trim a little bit. Okie dokie. Now. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. So the main thing you should know about trying to make this sound better is that you can't. There is no way to improve the quality of a recording after it has been recorded. There's no way to get better frequency range. There's no way to get better dynamic sensitivity. What you have is what you get. That said, there are things we can do to work around the garbaginess of this recording. First thing I'm going to do, first thing you should always do, is put in a beat. So let's see, I'm going to choose perhaps beats. What I want is great. Okay. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. Okay. Well, first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to work really hard to try to line this up rhythmically, but I'm going to improve it a little bit. So I'm just going to split it here. I'm just going to put this one at bar 3. This is the trim off the beginning a little bit. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. Maybe we can improve on that. Let's put this one a little more exact. This is the computer mic. 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 All right, good enough. GarageBand does have this thing called flex time, which enables you to quantize the rhythm of your audio. I'm not going to get into it in this video. Instead, we're going to look at some effects that might make my vocal sound a little bit more exciting. Down here at the bottom of the screen, you have this little control panel. This is amateur hour down here. I wouldn't even bother. The only thing that's really useful down here is this EQ. And this is actually quite useful. I'll make it a little bigger so we can see what we're doing. This is the computer mic. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn on this analyzer. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's showing you the frequency content of your recording. And even before we do anything, this analyzer is telling us a couple of useful things. One of them is that the computer mic does not record anything below 100 hertz and doesn't record much of anything above 10,000. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. So yeah, that information down at the bottom and up at the top is just lost. Not much we can do about that. That's okay. What we can do is cut and boost the content, the frequency content that we do have. So first thing I'm going to do is just do a simple low pass, meaning I'm going to cut out the high frequencies. This is the computer mic. 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 So can you hear how when I cut out all the high frequencies, it sort of sounds muffled, like there's a pillow over it or like it's coming through a wall? Another thing I can do is cut out the low frequencies. This is the computer mic. 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 So you can hear how cutting out the low frequencies makes it sound like you're on like an old-timey radio or a tiny speaker, like an iPhone speaker. So those are the simplest kinds of EQ cuts and boosts, but you can do a lot of much more complicated stuff. This is the computer mic. I'm just going to boost the mids. This is the computer mic. Very boxy. Cut the mids. This is the computer mic. Kind of hollow. This is the computer mic. 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 So there's actually a lot you can do with EQ to dramatically change the timbre of your sound. EQ is pretty much the most important effect in the producer's toolkit, aside from compression. We'll get to compression. If you have ever been in a professional mix session in a studio, the amount of time that they spend EQing everything is just mind-boggling. Yeah, I mean, hours and hours and hours. The best way to learn how to EQ is just through trial and error, but GarageBand thoughtfully gave you all these presets. So for example, let's say I want a bright vocal. According to GarageBand, that means cut everything below 200 and do a little dip a little above 1000 and a very gentle boost about 10K. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. All right, doesn't sound that exciting, but here, what if I do male lead vocal? Okay, pretty similar. This is the computer mic. The thing to do is really just go through some presets. Vintage vocal. This is the computer mic. Kind of warms it up down in the lows and the mids. Rolls off some of the highs. In this case, it doesn't do that. That doesn't do anything because there is no high frequency information coming in from the computer mic, but you get the idea. So yeah, work through the presets and then use them as starting points. Say, well, I like this preset, but what if I boost the lows even more? Or what if I cut the lows? What if I boost the mids even more? What if I cut the mids? Yeah, just make these adjustments, listen, see what you think, make another adjustment, listen, see what you think. Trial and error, the best way to learn how to do EQ. There is a way to automate EQ. There is a way to make something like this happen. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. There's a way to make that happen automatically, but automation is a complex topic in GarageBand. I'm not going to get into it in the video. I'll put a link in the description. So the other very important effect for you to know about is compressor. There is this real for dummies compressor over here. It's just got like an on-off switch and then a knob for the amount. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. This is the computer mic. But it's impossible to understand what is going on with the compressor from here. So instead, what you want to do is use the grown-up compressor. And here's how you get to the grown-up effects in GarageBand. Here, there's this little menu. It says plugins. If you unfold it, now you can access the real compressor with all the parameters. Look at this. All right, compressor is complicated. I got a bunch of articles about it. Again, links are in the description. As with the EQ, one of the best things you can do is just go through the presets. So let's see, what does it want to do for a vocal? This is the computer mic. Oh. This is the computer mic. You hear how much louder and more present it is? So this is what compressor is for. It makes the quiet parts louder and the loud parts quieter. It just kind of smooths out the volume. And this is important because your voice has a very wide range of amplitudes, and left untreated, like the loud parts will be annoyingly loud and the quiet parts will be inaudibly quiet. So if you apply compressor, it just kind of sandwiches everything down. And whether or not it's actually any louder after you've compressed it, it certainly feels perceptually louder. You should use compression on your vocals, I would say 100% of the time. 99% of the time. It just always makes your vocals sound good. It pretty much makes everything sound good. In a contemporary pop song, they're going to be using compressor on every individual track, and then on groups of tracks, and then on the master track, sometimes multiple compressors with different settings on each of those things. I mean, it's a whole, you could spend your life learning how compression works. The main thing to know is just try the presets, find one that's close to what you like. Here, let's do vintage medium. This is the computer mic. I don't like that as much as the other one. Let's try natural vocal. This is the computer mic. It's barely doing anything. Anyway, whatever. Try the presets, see what you can find. Compression always makes stuff sound good, especially when you're using a bad mic like the one in your computer. All right, in the next video, I'm going to talk about some spacier, more psychedelic effects, so be sure to watch that. Thanks for listening.